I have no gripe with the rankings. I remember where I was when the rankings came out. The year was 2012. The network carrying the sport was Fox, and I had a level of participation over there. I don't bring that to you for any other reason than I remember being in what was called the avocado room. It's called the avocado room because it was painted the color of an avocado when they came in and revealed to Kenny Florian and I that they were going to have rankings and we were going to start discussing them on a weekly basis. I remember this because it was such a hot hand that the show's producers felt that they had. That finally the sport of MMA is going to have an official ranking, which is not only going to be a form of recognition, but moreover, secretly where the excitement was is it was going to create a controversy. And now you're going to have talking points. And everybody who goes on TV in any kind of fashion, particularly in the sports world, has to have something to talk about. It was just this built-in mechanism, but I remember our producers being very excited about it, which is why I remember the year of 2012. I also come to you with that because I know what it was meant to do, which is the two things that I just elaborated on. It was supposed to give a level of recognition so there was some kind of clarity while being in conjunction and in line with other sports of which all were ranked. It was the first time being done, and it was guaranteed to create a level of controversy. I have no gripe about this. I was the first ever to shine my own wheels, but in an attempt more to prove the point that I like the ranking. I was the first ever athlete to be ranked simultaneously in the top 10 in two different weight classes. I had a ranking at light heavyweight and at middleweight. I was the first and only to have, I was very proud of that. Apparently, I'm still proud of it because I'm bringing it up, but I even remember when I was ranked in two weight classes, the naysayers and detractors of Chael were trying to get me pulled from one, saying that wasn't fair. Who cares? Let that go. Over time, the rankings, like anything else, have unintended consequences, and now the fighters who were meant to be celebrated and recognized are using their ranking to get out of doing hard work. Chimaev, by example, finest example, most recent example. So you start to take a look at the rankings, and then the rankings did make some headway and headlines in 2020. It started when Khabib came out and said, I asked one thing. Put me number one pound for pound when the rankings come out on Tuesday morning. When Khabib made that statement is when I learned that the rankings come out on Tuesday mornings. I've never confirmed that. I just trust it to be true, but you guys don't know it either. The reason is that's how fake these things are. That's how silly they are. We don't even know when they come out, let alone where to find them. And the greatest piece of information we have is a guy that barely speaks the language telling us post-fight while exhausted that they come out on Tuesday, and we all accept it as true. And it may be, but you understand my point. These are a very silly thing. Well, when Khabib said that, John Jones's competitive juices got going. He fired back, said, you know what, not so fast. Great career and congrats on your retirement. That's got nothing to do with coming over me. Now, I bring you that story to rehash it as a way of reminding you that the rankings have made great talk in 2020. Had it not been for the Khabib and John Jones back and forth, the rankings would live where they currently live, which is God knows where, and no one gives a goddamn because they don't matter and they aren't real. They do not have a direct impact on your placement on a card, which is the number one most important thing. They don't have a direct impact on how many eyeballs or t-shirts or bags of popcorn you can sell. They're just a number that apparently are or are not written down and released every Tuesday by 8 a.m. according to Khabib. But now that we take a closer look at the rankings and we have no idea who does them, we haven't the foggiest idea who sits down and does that or what team of group thought goes into it, or if it's like the former BCS in college football that they did away with because of the corruption and the acquittal, and it's done by a computer, for God's sake. We don't know. We don't know. But we know this. They came out today. The rankings, you got to stay with me here. To understand how much this doesn't make sense, you must follow the wordplay that I'm about to use. This is going to confuse you. Conor McGregor debuted in the welterweight rankings. To debut in the rankings of a weight class that you're not in, and your last time competitively was exactly 30 days short of a year which would remove you from eligibility for the rankings. To debut in the rankings of a weight class that you are not in, but you once were. It happened to be 10 months ago. It lasted for 40 seconds, but it happened. It happened. And you were not beyond the expiration of eligibility. To bring somebody into that weight class would be beyond, whose idea was that? With what thought pattern did they possibly use? But they can. They can because it hasn't been a full year. They put him at number 15 in the world. Conor is ranked number 15 in the world at welterweight. Okay. No argument, but save the thought. Because they also came out with a pound-for-pound list. Pound for pound, every weight, every athlete in the organization, which totals 553. Not just 112 that are in the welterweight class. All 553 pound for pound. You get it. You know what pound for pound means. Conor McGregor's ranked number 12. The only other welterweight in the pound for pound is Kamaru Usman, who's ranked number 5. Let me reword this for you. The official rankings have Conor McGregor as the 15th best within his weight class, but the 12th best within the sport as a whole. The only other welterweight in the rankings is Kamaru at number 5. It would seem as though if Kamaru Usman and Conor McGregor are the only two welterweights in the pound for pound, which is the much greater coveted list. It is the one that Khabib and John Jones went to war of words over. Then they are obviously 1 and 2 within the division. No. The geniuses that do the ranking have Conor 15th in the division, but 12th overall. That is an impossible rationale to come up with. I am not here to pick apart whatever jobber got assigned with putting these out that doesn't put his name on them for very obvious reasons that he doesn't put a lot of thought, and he shouldn't because they don't matter. I'm not here to do that. God bless him, or whatever team gets together. But however long that meeting was, if that meeting was 20 minutes, can we agree that they wasted 19?
On the feet or on the ground, undefeated, never lost a round. Biggest arms in the city of Westland, undisputed, GOAT king of wrestling. Tito tapped, Fado quit. John Jones broke a toe and had to sit. Anderson got mauled and bashed, and the bad guy made off with a bag of cash. Oh, and by the way, let me offer this. Chael knows just how good Conor McGregor is, and he knows into all this where Kevin Lee fits, but he'll never reveal the secret to business. Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Iranami, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, Uncle Chael, the bad guy.